Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper One, working around the homestead. It's a little nippy out here, so it's nice to keep moving. I'm going to show you a few things that I use on my homestead that you might not be thinking about. Now, you might not be on a homestead, you might be in a suburban area or an urban area, so some of these things might not apply to you. First thing I want to go over is a burn barrel. I like a burn barrel because there's always times that twigs and sticks fall off the trees. Yeah, I don't use everything for kindling wood, especially if it's rotted or I have scrap wood with nails in it. Burn barrel's awesome because you can throw it in there, light it. On cold days you can get around it and warm up. And the nice thing about it is the smoke on a campfire always blows in my eyes. No matter where I sit around that fire, it comes right at me. At least with this one, it's going to come up at least this high and then go up. So there's a good chance that if I'm sitting here, I'm not going to get it in my face, especially when it gets roaring. Right now I just started it. But I throw all kinds of stuff in there that I'm not going to use for firewood or kindling wood. So it's awesome. I also can I have a metal grate I can throw across there and just heat water up. So it's multi-purpose, plus in a grid down situation you might have to dispose of some of your trash this way. Be very careful though, because of smells. If you're burning plastic, it definitely you can smell it. I have a neighbor that does not take his trash to the dump. He likes to burn his trash. So occasionally I get a nice plastic whiff coming across my property from where he's burning. So that could give your position away, but it really, in a grid down situation, you'll be saving all your plastic bottles because you might not be able to replace those, and they'll be used for something on your homestead. So if you don't have a burn barrel, think about getting one. I just a hole in the bottom. It's nothing fancy. I could probably put a lot more holes in it, but I don't want any more holes in. I don't want a place where a spark can jump out. It's really safe with just one hole in that far side, and it works great. And on cold days after it gets running a little bit, if you're working outside, you can come over and warm up. So there's one thing that I definitely use on my property. Another thing I use is this rain gauge. Right now you can just check the computer and the computer tells you how much water or how much rain you got last night. In a grid down situation, if we don't have the computer, these little things are going to be very valuable. I've gone with a few designs. This is the best design I've found. It's nice big letters for when you're getting old and it's hard to see. Plus I've had some of they look like test tubes, and if I didn't drain them out in the evening and if it froze at night, I've broken two of them. I'll never go back to that design because I can never remember to dump them out. So this plastic one has frozen solid inside, doesn't break the plastic. You can get it at Walmart, any hardware store. This is a must. A couple of these on your property, because in a grid down situation, that rain is vital for food production. Without that ability to see what you're doing, you might be overwatering, you might be underwatering, and this just gives you a good way to figure out how much rain you got for that day. Plus you can record it and see if you're on average for a normal year in your area. So figure out what your normal rainfall is in your area. So in a grid down situation, you can say, hey, I'm way behind, or I'm above, or I'm on the average. Very affordable, should be in a prepper's arsenal. Now, none of these things I'm talking about are real sexy and cool, but they're necessities that I use on my place. I think a big thing that we don't have a lot of, and if you live in an urban area, you're not probably going to be using these, but good old rubber boots. As you can see, yeah, I've just slopped the pigs this morning, and that's nasty stuff on it. Mud and all kinds of other good stuff. Now, if I wore my leather boots down there, first of all, they would stink after a few days. You couldn't get the smell out. These are so nice to put on. I can get really filthy muddy, and then just a hose. And they're nice and clean again. Yeah, granted, you might not have pressurized water. If you do some planning right now, you will have pressurized water. So, think about that. But at least I could walk through the tall grass and get most of this stuff off, and it'd be easy to clean with a brush and just a little bit of water. So, 3 things I'm using on my homestead I think you might need to think about on your homestead or your survival retreat. Metal burn barrel, rain gauge, and some good rubber boots. Things I use every day. Thanks for watching.